In the world of aviation, precision, skill, and knowledge are everything. At Texarkana College Aviation, a vision took flight, one that would shape the future of aviation maintenance. This is the story of how TC Aviation launched its A&P program, preparing the next generation of aircraft mechanics to keep the skies safe and aircraft soaring.
Dreams take off, Texarkana runway shines. Wrenches in the hands, young hearts in the grind. Cans of ambition, fueling up the flight. Futures in the hangar, starting here tonight. Propellers spin, these lessons take flight. Blueprints of tomorrow.
I just want to say this is where we really need to say a special thank you and a welcome to our inaugural class of students, TC students, to our aviation technologies program. So let's welcome them, students.
I'm Jason Smith, president at Texarkana College. So back about 2020, SAU, Southern Arkansas University, had a program called their Aviation Tech program, and they dropped that program. Shortly after that, maybe 6 months or so, Paul Mehrlich, the director of the airport, visited with me saying, hey, would Texarkana College be interested in the program? And so I said, yeah.
My name is Paul Mehrlich. I am the Executive Director for Texarkana Regional Airport. So Texarkana College Aviation program kind of started out of conversations with maintenance, repair, overhaul companies. I had gone out to Dallas and met with, first there was a company that I had been told was looking for 737 space. We could land a 737 at this airport, but with rate restrictions. When I went and sat with the gentleman, it turned out he really meant a 747, and that was well beyond what we could bring in. And having conversations then with two other companies, I noticed that this demand for wide body aircraft was out there, and we saw an opportunity then that if we could provide the ability for them to land here, there would certainly be demand for it. The second question that always came up in those discussions, though, were how many airframe and power plant mechanics are in your area, and they were pretty much, you could count them on one hand. So we thought that we needed to solve that problem pretty much before we could truly attract companies in, and we then began those discussions with initially SAU Tech was kind of pulling out at the time. They'd had an airframe power plant school, but it was really associated with the high schools. So they would bring the high school kids in, they would teach them somewhat, and then they would tell them if they wanted to actually go and get certified, they could go to a different campus. During COVID, they were unable to bring in any students, and so the program kind of collapsed. So our first thing was we approached the University of Arkansas, Texarkana, and asked if they would be interested. And at that time, they were going through a lot of changes. They just weren't sure about doing a brand new program that they didn't know anything about. And then that led, really because we'd had a historical relationship with Texarkana from 1940 into the 70s with a flight program, I thought that that would be a good way to kind of recreate the program that used to be here that was very successful and kind of bring that back, breathe new life into it. So our hope is that, one, we will inspire individuals who live locally to want to become involved in aviation, but also attract more people from the surrounding area to want to come here. The airport has over 200 acres of land that can be developed, and there are only 250 airports nationwide that can handle wide body. And so we have the ability to start attracting these large MROs, and we're hoping to create between 100 to 1,000 jobs over time, and sort of become a maintenance reliever airport for those larger hubs that are out there. That way they can focus more on cargo and passenger travel, and that maintenance can come to our community, and it will create good paying jobs and give us a really great tie to aviation for years to come.
I'll just say that I think it's important that you all have done a great job in noticing that TC has worked diligently to address the emerging technology trades thanks to community support and an amazing board of trustees.
So I'm Brandon Washington, Vice President of Operations
and Dean of Workforce here at Texarkana College. Well, it's funny when I'm asked what my role was with aviation, because coming out of a background of only education, I knew absolutely nothing about aviation, but we were presented with an opportunity to start the program here in Texarkana. And so when Paul Mehrlich contacted Dr. Smith, Dr. McDaniel, who's the vice president of instruction here at the time, he brought this idea to us, and it seemed like a lot. It was overwhelming at the beginning, and we set up site visits. We went to Dallas a few times to go view some schools down there, and it was just a big project. And at that time, we didn't have an instructor. Brandon Sanders had not yet joined us, so it was a huge project, a huge task for us to take on. But there's a lot of things that we could do on the academia side to start, submitting some of the requests and some of the approvals while we were waiting on funding and state approvals and all that kind of stuff. But to fast forward to the fun part, once we were able to find Brandon Sanders, which are city manager, David Orr, they have a relationship. We've known each other for years, and so David Orr brought Brandon's name to us. And once we got Brandon on board, everything just really took off. No pun intended, took off.
Good morning. As the Director of Aviation, I would like to thank you for attending today's historic ceremony. The creation of a skilled workforce for the aerospace community holds an immense potential for Texarkana.
So when I was 16, I came out here to the airport, started bumming around, and a guy named Matt Garrett pulled me out of the flight club and put me on, I think we were pulling the jugs on the Seneca. It was a long time ago. I basically ended up cleaning push rods for him. Joined the Army whenever I turned 18, got out of here, and went to the Army's Aviation Logistics School at Fort Eustis, and then from there went to Iraq, Afghanistan with 10th Mountain Division and 3rd ID. Did the surge and was at FOB Salerno working on OH-58s. Got out, kind of wandered around for a while, ended up back in general aviation maintenance up in Renton, Washington, working on float planes, and we did a lot of Quest Kodiaks where we would take them out of the factory and then put fuel tanks on them and then send them over to Japan to deliver in Asia. Did all kinds of just like random GA stuff. Then wife got sick, and I was like, we need a better job. So I went up to, I knew that the money was in heavy commercial and not necessarily GA. And so I started looking around, and I got into an MRO at Aviation Technical Services. Worked there as an avionics technician for a while, because I also in GA, I realized I really liked the electrical troubleshooting. Did that until I could get on with Boeing on the 737 MAX. Did that until the 2 MAX crashes happened and they kind of started stopping the line. Since I have a security clearance from the Army, I went over to the Military Delivery Center. Did that for a while and on the KC-46 and the P-8, and then came here as a Director of Aviation.
My name is Ryan Farmer. I'm from Paris, Texas. Well, I got a couple buddies that have some planes and all the old guys are kind of getting out of aviation and kind of wanted to get into it, replace some of the old guys. But I feel like I'm an old guy because I'm 42, but the class is teaching me, you can always go back to school and learn something, especially for the new generation coming up. That's most of the challenge for me.
My name is Brian Briggs. I'm from Waldo, Arkansas. I chose to go into aviation just because I wanted something that was challenging, wanted something that I could learn something new every day and won't get too redundant. And the TC program specifically, just because it was a year long versus 2 years, I like learning fast paced and being really hands-on.
My name's Aiden McGowan. I'm from Falk, Arkansas. I chose this program because it's only a year long compared to other programs that are 2 years long. It's condensed. It's a lot faster, and it's a lot of hands-on work, and I think it's the best way for me to start my career as an aviation mechanic.
From day one, students dive into the fundamentals, learning the intricate systems that make an aircraft fly. From aerodynamics to avionics, every lesson builds the foundation for a career in aviation maintenance. Classroom knowledge alone isn't enough. Here, students work in the hangar, mastering the skills needed to diagnose, repair, and maintain real aircraft. Under the guidance of seasoned instructors, they work on engines, inspect airframes, and learn the precision required in this high-stakes field.
We're learning how to bend pipe, rigid pipe, 3/8. That's what we're using.
I'm inspecting the landing gear, looking for any corrosion, any evidence of hard landing, and documenting the findings on that. Everything's looking good right now. No signs of corrosion, any stress, additional stress on the plane.
So basically, I just got up in there with a megger and I found the circuit reader, K14, and I applied the megger to the circuit and got the reading on it.
My name's Keith Ellison. I'm one of the aircraft maintenance instructors here at Texarkana College. My previous work experience has to deal with commercial aviation, a lot of mainline carrier and cargo equipment. The latest that I worked on was 747s and the MD-11s. Okay. So this LB, you got that bin started, you got this bin started, then you're gonna take this bin and bend this way, and you gotta visualize it in your head which way you gotta twist it, okay?
Each week, the students will take an oral and practical exam in order to prepare them for the airframe and power plant certificate.
Oh man, this week has been a pretty compact week. We started the week out with OMPs, so we had to do our oral and practicals, going through not only verbalizing how to do things, we actually had to show them hands-on what we had to do.
Well, I feel like I'm ready to take the test today, and I hope I pass it, but it's just a new experience.
I'm a little nervous about the test this morning. Just with it being our first OMP, I don't know what to expect. I know that we're going to get verbal questions as well as having to perform certain things hands-on. So you can prepare, but you don't know what to expect, so it's different.
So how are you feeling about the test that you're about to take?
Well, it's got a lot of material, there's a lot of tools involved in it. I am kind of nervous about it. I don't really know exactly everything. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to learn the stuff.
So the test went pretty good. I was pretty comfortable after coming out, but I was nervous going in.
You know what I'm saying? Light work. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you heard it recorded? Overall, I feel like it was pretty easy. It's mostly the stuff that we went over. They prepared us for it pretty well.
It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Honestly, the micrometer, I read that thing real easy. Keith helped me out a lot on it. He made it a lot easier. The questions he asked me, they were material that I had learned, so it wasn't too bad at all. I was worried for nothing.
At TC Aviation, we don't just train aviation professionals, we prepare them for the real world by simulating a real-life work environment. But aviation isn't just about individual skill, it's also about teamwork. At TC Aviation, we believe that success in the field depends on seamless collaboration. That's why our training emphasizes communication, leadership, and problem solving under real-world conditions.
Each day we'll be assigned a toolbox. You come into the tool room, you'll be assigned a toolbox by barcode, right? You'll get your barcode on your tag as well as a barcode on the toolbox himself, and they'll match up in our computer system. Whenever you check your toolbox in, you are responsible for having every tool. So each tool will be accounted for. We'll do a check to ensure that each one is in its given place. They have each tool engraved in, therefore you can see the placement of everything. And that's pretty much our check-in and check-out system for our tools.
How have you and your classmates been getting along?
We've been getting along pretty good. They helped me out and I helped them out. I think we work pretty good as a team together.
Everybody's been working pretty good as a team. Everybody's doing the best, Everybody's still trying to learn, but everybody's pretty nice,
Huh?
Let me see if this works. Should be good. It's like a glass slipper on.
That's one way of saying it.
We work in teams. Some people's picking it up faster than others, but we're all working together. Well, the last 2 days we did rigid pipe, learn how to bend it, and tomorrow we're going to learn how flex pipe, flex fittings. Sorry.
Also doing rigid lines, fabricating rigid lines. So that was something completely new to us, using different tools to recreate the lines that were previously there, that are damaged, replacing those. So it was really fun.
It was going really good, honestly. Like the starting process of starting those rigid lines, dude, it's not easy at all, honestly. I'm learning a lot about the rigid lines. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say that stuff is easy, because it takes some work.
It'll feed you for about 2 years. Yeah. I know. What are we doing today? We're doing what we did yesterday.
Bending pipe.
Just see if we can do a little bit better job. Another piece of that.
I don't think I got the right sleeve piece, is the only thing. Oh, maybe I do.
That look about right to you.
For many, this program is more than just an education. It's a dream becoming reality. Each student comes with a unique story, but they all share a common goal: earning their A&P certificate and launching a career in aviation.
What I'm most excited about right now is just learning and taking what we're learning in practice situations and seeing how they work in real world environments. So we're learning a lot of hands-on stuff out in the middle of the hangar, but I want to see how it actually operates on the plane in the different situations that we'll actually implement those things. So real life and environment stuff.
The most thing I'm excited on is more hands-on training. I don't really like a lot of book work. I like out in the field learning.
I'm most excited about learning about airplanes and stuff. I honestly don't know anything about them. Not a thing. Coming in here, I was a little nervous about that. Maybe I already had to have some pre-knowledge about it, but no, they start from the beginning.